Happy fall, everyone. The cooler weather is here finally, and with that comes soup season in my home. And today I'm going to share with you one of my favorite recipes, and easy, which is a double awesome. It is the butternut squash soup, and it is so easy. I love this because oftentimes I'm kind of overwhelmed when I buy a whole butternut squash. But this makes it super, super simple. So you're gonna need a whole butternut squash, and I've just cut it in half. Seeds are still in, we'll go through that together. Then I have some organic vegetable broth. I have an apple, a Granny Smith apple is probably the best choice, but I didn't have that, so I just grabbed this. And an onion, good old-fashioned yellow onion. You're gonna need some melted butter, just a tablespoon, and here I have dried sage because I didn't have any fresh. Fresh is definitely always better, but if you don't have it, grab the dry stuff, and some salt and pepper. Super simple, hardly any ingredients, and it is just such a delicious soup. So first, let's start with the butternut squash. So I've cut it in half. Then I've grabbed a spoon, okay, and I'm just going to take all of the seeds and remove them. This one is done. I'm going to do the same one to the other, okay? So we've hollowed those out, and I like to use this pastry or meat brush that I have, and I'm going to take that melted butter. I'm going to dip the brush in the butter, and then, so easy, I'm just gonna paint on. So I'm just painting on that top inside where you've hollowed out. Okay, so that's one. I'm gonna place that on a baking sheet, and I'm gonna do the same with the other half. Okay, so I'm being really generous with that. I have placed it, okay, on my baking sheet. And then I'm just going to take fresh pepper. I'm going to be really liberal with this because I like it nicely seasoned. And same with the salt. Okay. And voila, you're going to stick it in your oven at 425 and you're going to let it roast for an hour. And then during that hour is when I'm prepping for the rest of the soup, which again is super easy. I'm just chopping up my onion, chopping up my apple, and then I'm going to decide what I'm going to serve this with. Probably make a green salad and probably chop up some chicken as well. All right, so let's put that in the oven and see what happens. All right, so now the fun part. You're going to take your apple and you're going to chop it up. So I peeled my apple, and as you can see, I just diced it up. And I did the same with my yellow onion. I love onions, so I used a lot. I used the whole onion, but you can use half an onion if you don't love that onion flavor. So you're gonna chop that up as well, and you're gonna grab your pan, and you're gonna grab the rest of your butter. So whatever you didn't use out of that melted butter, which should be almost half of it, you're gonna put in your pot, and you're gonna heat up that butter a little bit, and then you're going to saute the onions and the apple with your ground sage or fresh sage if you're using that. All right, so I've got it sauteing just so you can see what it looks like. I am a big lover of sage. Reminds me of Thanksgiving dinner. Smells amazing. All right, so I'm going to keep this medium to low heat for about 7 minutes, or until my onion is clear, and then I'm just gonna turn off the heat. Now the butternut squash is done, roasted, looks amazing, and I've got my sauteed apple and onion and sage, and so it's super simple. You're just gonna take that squash, and I literally just pull the skin right off of the outside, and then I'm going to put it in my pot in here into my bowl, and then I'm going to heat that up a little bit. on medium, heat it up, and then I'm gonna add about 4 to 5 cups. I'm gonna add this whole thing of broth and just let it simmer for 15 minutes. So I have my butternut squash in there, and as you can see, I just sort of mixed it around a little bit with the spoon, and it's still nice and warm, so it's mixing up quite easy. And then I'm just gonna add this entire thing. You can do a vegetable or chicken broth. Then I'm just gonna put that back on the stove.